A message to all my young hustlers out there that I am fortunate to have found my brand, or I'm fortunate to have found this channel, because I'm going to share with you how to get over some of the challenges we put in our own heads. And I want to tell you, I'm speaking from experience, because even though now I'm 37 years old and I'm a fucking old timer compared to some of the other people on my floor, I still get a chance to sometimes reminisce of when I used to be in that chair, when I used to be in that seat, in that position. And, you know, I too was, of course, a brand new sales agent at one point or another. You know, as a matter of fact, anytime you ever enter into a new sales floor, you're a new agent. You're still considered a rookie. And you could be doing the craft or the art for, you know, damn near 10, 15, 20 years. As a matter of fact, if I went into another sales floor, because no one would know me, they would consider me a rookie. And so but would I let that bother me is the question. Would I let that bother me in terms of them not knowing me, them not knowing what I'm capable of? You know, would I let that affect me? And at times before, in the past, I did. But I found out one thing. And that one thing is that your actions speak far louder than your words. Your actions speak far louder than your appearance. And more importantly, your drive exudes through your body language. It exudes through your actions. And that's what creates the momentum for you to get past the insecurity of being viewed at as too young or too new. You know, there's this one thing that I tell anyone who's new to my sales floor, new to my sales team, is that as of right then and there, or as of right now, they may view their position as being a rookie or being new to the industry as a disadvantage. But I ask them to flip their point of view and look at it as a fucking advantage. Now let me tell you why, all right? I'm gonna tell you why. So first off, my experience, you know, for the longest time, I started selling as young as 16 years old. And so when I came into any atmosphere, any arena, there were always older people than me. I knew this because typically those older people were the better, more seasoned sales agents. And so I needed to figure out a way to befriend them, right? And imagine I'm some 16-year-old kid, I've shaved head, you know, my pants were hanging halfway off my ass. You know what I mean? And at the time, you know, baggy clothes were cool and shit. But now you got to be tight as fuck. So back then, though, you know, I had baggy clothes, just white tee. You always wore Chucks, always wore white K-Swisses, and so I didn't necessarily fit the norm, right? I was very loud in the area that I was. But the reason why I tell you this is because I was a foreigner. I was almost like an immigrant, right? Like I'm the second class, if you will. And when I went into a sales floor, I would get the smirks too. I would definitely, you know, people would not talk to me. They would not look at me. They would talk to me, but then wouldn't give me, you know what I mean, like the time of day. And so if anyone offered their opinion or offered their need of an opinion or need for help, they would consider me last, right? And so they would overlook me. Even if my colleagues or my coworkers would be like, hey man, have Daniel do it, they would say, you know, you could see their expression. And it's that expression of doubt, right? Like, he doesn't know who this is, or he doesn't know how to do that, or he doesn't know how to do this. And I knew that. I knew that was my handicap going in. And some of you young hustlers right now are facing that right now. Like you're young, you know what I mean? Like you, in comparison to those who are in your atmosphere or those who you are competing with. And you might right now think that that's a disadvantage because no one's going to give you the chance when you exude a specific energy, you're able to manipulate that point of view from others. You're able to manipulate their perception of you. And it's a few things, right? From the way you dress, from the way you carry yourself, from the way you conduct yourself. And so I knew this going in, and I knew my disadvantage was that I wore, you know what I mean? I wore earrings, I had a shaved head, I looked like a gang member inside of an office. Imagine that. And you probably, you know, have experienced that. And but here's the thing though, is that I had a reason to hustle, right? When I was a kid, when I was younger, like 16 all the way up to about 22, before I had my first child, the whole point of being in sales was because, you know, it was hustle. It was a game to me. And I took it as leverage, or I used it as motivation, that I was the youngest and I had nothing but straight hustle behind me, pushing me for one reason, and that reason was to outperform everyone else. That reason was to punch the fucking doubters in the face with success, right? Like, not literally punch them, but I wanted to prove them wrong, because when I would see those looks and those smirks and them not considering me to be on an evil level, even level as them, or a playing field that they're in, you know, that inspired me, right? And my, it's weird because it wasn't even about money at that point. My focus changed and it became like a point system. So instead of the normal energy around my sales floor of just looking for sale because of the compensation of that sale, I looked at it as a point system. Like, how many sales you got? You got 2. Okay, you got 2 points. So I'm gonna figure out how to get more points than you. I literally changed it into a game. And because of my tenacity, because of my, you know, my work ethic and my desire to outperform and prove them wrong, I was able to not only use their doubt and their hate and their neglect as a way to push me, right, to push me higher, because I wanted that acceptance, I wanted that status, but I was also able to use it as a way to perfect my craft, because I needed to prove myself. I worked harder, I put in the time, I went above and beyond what they were doing, right? And so if I knew that one of the veterans was doing a specific thing, and when I say veterans, I'm talking about one of the seasoned, you know, sales agents that I already did my research on, I already did my you know, my intel gathering, and found out that this is the dude or this is the chick that's smashing the numbers right now. This is the person that's doing it. They're the all-star of that sales floor. And when I found out who those people were, I locked on them. And it's not like I was, you know, like a groupie or anything. I wasn't fucking, you know, stalking them or anything, but I paid attention to the way they held themselves. I paid attention to what they did, what hours they worked, how they originated their sales, and how they did certain things, so much so that I was able to mirror it. You see, there's a saying, it says that all success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. And how I interpret that, and the reason why I put that on my post, I think it was yesterday on my Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram feed, definitely get on my Instagram feed. Instagram at Sales Remastered, shameless plug, but you know, I need to promote the brand. And the way I took that saying was that, you know, they leave clues because they're showing you how it's done. They're leading by example. And I was fortunate enough to have that doubt. I was blessed to have that neglect. I was blessed to go in with a grind and having the, you know, the presence of an underdog. You know, I love an underdog story. I'm all about underdog. You know what I mean? Like I grew up that way. That's what motivates me. But to other people, that's not what motivates them. To other people, they're more sensitive, right? And so they may look at, you know, criticism or critiquing and taking it in a whole new different light. Like, you might take it as like, oh man, maybe this just isn't meant for me, or maybe I will never succeed, or what if everyone's gonna laugh at me? Fuck that. You know, let this be a testament. Let this be that voice in your head, and let it loop. Let that shit play on repeat. When I tell you that what you believe right now is a disadvantage is a fucking illusion, and that illusion will fuck with you for years to come. It's not just gonna be right now. That illusion is gonna fuck with you right now and say, hey man, maybe you're just not meant to do this, or hey man, you're not as good as them, or hey man, you know, maybe you're gonna fuck up, so don't offer your help. You know, you got those inner demons and those illusions fucking with you. But here's the thing, is that when you get over that hump, then you got more illusions when it comes to another challenge, right? Like originations, like, oh fuck, I got a sales presentation. What if they're not gonna buy? What if they don't like me? What if my competitor's price price are lower, etc., right? So you got more illusions that's waiting for you. And then when you get past that, then you got other fucking illusions tearing at you, like, oh man, maybe this processor isn't the best, or oh fuck, my manager's out to get me. So constantly, never ending inner demons that are gonna pull at you and gonna try and sway you in a different direction to throw in the towel. And a lot of the times it's because there are other people within our vicinity, within our circle, who think that way. And that's why it's important to watch who you hang out with, watch who you look to for reference, watch who you consider advice from, right? And my recommendation to you is do your homework, research whoever you're sitting down to take time to listen to. And if they got the credentials, or you can clearly feel or see through their personality that they're not fucking around, you know what I mean? Like they're honest, they know what the fuck is up, then use it. But don't go all in, make it your own, right? Understand why it works as opposed to just copying it. Because when you understand how the process works, then you can manipulate it and make it your own. You can adopt it and create your own process, and then you can determine the results. And so to anyone who's young, getting into an industry right now, regardless if you have experience for a month, 2 months, a year, 2 years, wherever you are right now, and you may think that being the youngest one on the floor is your handicap, use that shit to your advantage. Because you're brand new, you don't have bad habits. Because you're brand new, you are more motivated than anyone else to establish their brand, their recognition, to establish their status. And when you use that as reasons to sell the other person into giving you a chance, it's like a job interview, right? You're saying the right things, like, hey man, I'm so motivated. As a matter of fact, because I am brand new to the industry, I am eager to be mentored on how to do it correctly. So although I may not have experience, I also don't have the bad habits and the baggage that comes with someone who's been doing this for as long as you may consider to be experienced. So here's an opportunity where, if I am on this path and on this road and more like a sponge trying to absorb the right way to do it, who would you rather work for you? Someone who comes in with bad habits, or someone who comes in fresh, like an eager student, looking how to do it, looking for a way to do it the right way? And so as I hustle my fucking face off to establish and build my brand, here's an opportunity for you to use that energy and grow your business, scale your brand, scale your name, put in a good showmanship, or a good show of effort in terms of winning that relationship, right? And this is one of the reasons why newer people, like newer agents, and maybe you might see one come on your sales floor, they'll just come in and they're so brand new, but they fucking kill it. And why do you think they kill it? Is because their confidence exudes through their tone, and because they don't know any better, they don't know the drama that awaits them after that hump. Their enthusiasm wins them the sale. It's because they're excited, right? Like they know inside information, they know a trick, and so they're eager to share with you this inside information because they just found out. And so they're so fascinated with the fucking facts that they're saying it in a way. It's the fucking tone, it's the energy, it's the way they exude, and that is what speaks louder than words. That is what speaks louder than the perception others may have of you just because you got a baby face. I love being the youngest one in the room and the absolute most successful one in the room. I use that shit to my advantage, but more importantly, I held it at a higher regard because I knew exactly where I came from. So know where you come from. Know that being an underdog is actually an advantage because you got something lighting fire under your ass, and it's up to you on what to do with it. So what the fuck you gonna do with it? Start off by following @SalesRemastered, hit that subscribe button, clock the bell, and you'll get notified of any helpful motivational content that I deliver on a daily basis. If any of the content does resonate with you and it helps you, all I ask is that you hit that thumbs up, you leave a comment with what your takeaway was, and you also share that bitch on your feed. Help me promote this brand, help me get the recognition, and I'll continue helping you climb to the motherfucking top. See you on the next video. Bye.